Contract signing. Chris Jericho and Adam Cole. It's a contract signing for a non-sanctioned match. So they had to explain that it's just a personal contract between Chris Jericho and Adam Cole, even though there was the AEW logo was on the paperwork again. But did you hear that? They had to explain, how can you sign a contract for a non-sanctioned match with the company? Well, it's a contract between the two of them that they'll allow anything to happen.
Yeah, my lawyer would let me sign that.
And I wrote at the top, when Adam Cole is sitting there, Jericho comes out with Judas and the whole gang. And I wrote, good God, if a top babyface had to sit in the ring while the fans universally sang word for word the heel song on his entrance in the territory days, you would have only seen it happen once. No babyface would have worked unless Chris Jericho was the booker or an owner of part of the office. Every babyface in the territory days would say, if that son of a bitch comes out here and let these fans sing his song, I'm not working with him. It's ridiculous. So then Adam signs the contract and cuts the promo on what Jericho actually didn't do. The miscellaneous Saraya and her group of girls did to Britt Baker. Jericho handcuffed Adam. He had to watch a long promo about what Adam Cole was going to do to Jericho on Sunday. Among those things are he's going to break his legs, shatter his jaw, break his hands. Whatever happened to the old deal about a babyface shouldn't promise shit they aren't going to accomplish? Chris Jericho would be in a body cast.
The heel came out with the fans singing his song. Babyfaces and heel traditional stuff is out the window with whatever they're doing here.
That's what I'm saying. That's why none of this matters. And nobody cares.
You know what else? They played that video of when Jericho and Saraya and the Outcast took down Britt while Adam Cole was handcuffed. Watching it again, it wasn't that bad. Britt was rolling around. She didn't bleed at all. She just rolled around and didn't even seem like she was yelling as much as Cole was. He was yelling at Jericho to do something. And Britt's been on TV ever since. How bad was it?
Yeah, she didn't lose any time. We didn't see any surgery footage. She wasn't out any longer than anybody else disappears on this program. It was just more shit. They've seen this. They've seen these things done or heard about these things being done in wrestling in the territories or old video or whatever. They don't know how they're put together, how they're carried out, how they're followed through on. It's just endless. Oh, let's do that thing we saw on a videotape.
And we just saw a contract signing on Raw. They did it better. Adam Cole should have said, woof, woof, bitch.
And after both of them droned on, and by the way, Jericho's stooges, again, all the heels, Daddy Mac, Mac Daddy, and Cool Hand Luke, and Jake Hager, and Danny Garcia, they all look ridiculous on purpose. They're visually comedy and not to be taken seriously. Nobody's getting any heat here. Chris Jericho and Adam Cole are talking seriously, but there were holes you could drive a 18-wheeler through in the angle and the logic before and after it. And in the behavior of all the people involved here, you can tell they're not serious. So nobody's getting any heat. It's just shit they're saying to each other. And then when Jericho brings up, well, there's still 5 of us and only 2 of you because Adam's there with Roderick Strong, that's when Adam says, so I made a phone call to a guy I idolized growing up. And out comes the Sheik. It looked just like him. Sabu has aged into the Sheik. He was wearing the nice suit and the headdress and the jewelry, just skinnier than the Sheik ever was at that stage in his life. But he looks like, with the beard and everything, he looks like, but it was Sabu. And he comes out and gets in the ring and does his pointing and does his stuff. And obviously, number one, they explained he does live there in Las Vegas. But also, this crowd, they remember Sabu. They know who Sabu is. I'm not trying to diminish his reputation in the industry at one time, but they bring out one guy that everybody also knows he's had to physically retire. He can't do this anymore. He's almost 60. In the suit, he looked like he might be about 170 pounds now. And he's one guy coming out, and there's still 5 of them. Now it's 5 against 3, with one of the guys being almost 60 and 175 pounds. And then he throws a chair and clocks Mac Daddy, and the rest of them just fucking run off. But I'm certainly not opposed to using wrestling legends on a wrestling show. But did this kind of just fall flatter than piss? Because not only did almost nothing happen, but this is not this ain't Stone Cold Steve Austin coming back to be in somebody's corner at SummerSlam or something, right?
No, look, nothing's hot right now, show-wide, but specifically this is Adam Cole's comeback. Does it really seem like it matters? They did an angle where they beat up his girlfriend while he's handcuffed. She's on the show just doing other things now. I mean, does any of it seem like it matters? Jericho's still the same goofy Jericho he's been for a while, so you can't take him seriously. If you've been watching AEW since the beginning, you kind of know what you're going to get. Now, like you said, him and the Jericho Appreciation Society, it's run its course. It did a while ago. It's time to move on. I can't imagine why anyone would be looking forward to this match.
So that was that. And then a bunch of people got up in arms that they brought Sabu in because I guess, I'd forgotten about this, but a couple of years ago when Jim Ross fell and blacked his eye and tweeted a picture of him with a black eye and he'd hurt himself, Sabu just cussed him out and said, send me the $150,000 you owe my uncle, the Sheik, and all this other stuff. And people retweeted that. And he's also said I can't even say these words that Sabu said, racist and or sexist and or homophobic and all this shit on Twitter. And people are like losing their minds over that. I think everybody knows Sabu's had fucking issues, right? I don't know him well enough personally to know whether he, as a normal person walking around in a sober state, really is any of those phobics. But I know that he had a lot of problems, was on a lot of stuff that would make you tweet irrational and maniacal and or variously misspelled things or say them in public. But is he on the canceled list, or has everybody almost just kind of realized that he was fucked up on drugs for a long time and said a bunch of crazy shit?
Well, I don't think any of that matters. No one cares if you're on drugs or drunk when you say the things. They care about that you said the things. With that said, I mean, it's Sabu. It's not like a main event guy, so I don't think it's that big a stink, but there does seem to be like a double standard. You know, Hulk Hogan and his wife are banned. Sabu is brought out for this angle, you know, so.
Well, but more importantly, the fucking Briscoes were banned from television.
But that wasn't Tony. But that was, to be fair, that wasn't Tony.
Okay, but then does everybody know that Sabu said all those F words and such and such suckers and all the things that I can't even say on the air?
That's why it was a surprise. You know, when Adam Cole said, I want to bring out someone who I have looked up to since I was a kid, or whatever he said, what do you think Bobby Fish is thinking right now, sitting at home?
Adam Cole didn't know who the fuck Bobby Fish was when he was a kid. Bobby was already a senior citizen at the time.
But the idea, here's Sabu coming out there.
Well, they had, of course, Adam Cole patterned his entire career after Sabu. Of course, no, he didn't idolize him as a kid. That was the only connection that they could come up with to make. Because, basically, Tony Khan is an ECW fan, and guess who lives in Las Vegas? Sabu. So, wow, wouldn't it be great if we put him on the program, even though he's 15 or 20 years past doing anything physical and looks like Ned at this current point?
Is he at the pay-per-view?
Yeah, he's going to be in the corner. He's going to be in Adam Cole's corner to counteract the giant 6.5 foot tall MMA fighter, the 3 25-year-old fucking guys that have him by 50 pounds apiece that stooge for Jericho, as well as Chris Jericho himself. Adam will be fine. He's got Sabu.
And Roddy.
And Roddy. Well, Roddy beat Daniel Garcia by cracky. They rushed into this thing with no entrances. They went a minute to the break. They come back. They rush through the rest of it. And Roddy wins with a suplex into a over-the-knees backbreaker type of thing. That was just to get Roddy a win, like he should have had before he had a main event match with Chris Jericho. And doing everything backwards, god damn it.
A main event Falls Count Anywhere match with Chris Jericho.
Well, of course. Well, that goes without saying that it's got to have stipulations.